up, how do? In this video, we're going to check out the phenomenon that is the spinner. The fidget toy, the hand spinner, whatever you want to fucking call it. These things have fucking exploded in popularity over the last few months. Now, I first became aware of the spinner a while ago as part of the knife community. Yes, I'm a knife addict, and a while ago, people started getting into the spinning tops as part of the EDC lifestyle, you know, everyday carry shit, whether it's carrying knives or pens, flashlights, handkerchiefs, nooks, whatever, the list is endless. The spinning tops really fit into that carry philosophy. But the problem with the spinning top is, even though they are really cool, and the makers had a really cool idea, which is take an age-old kid's toy and bring it into the 21st century with up-to-date machinery, CNC mills, that kind of stuff, with cool materials and really awesome design, they were able to produce something that looked fantastic, was so balanced and well-engineered that they span and fucking span. But the problem with them is that unless you have somewhere to spin them, i.e. a desk or a table or one of those portable spinning plates, whatever, they're pretty much useless. And some bright spark had the idea of taking that spinning top and producing something that you could do in the hand. And voila, what was born was the top bar. Now, that was a great idea and a wicked design. And when they first came out, and I first became aware of them, like I say, as part of the knife community, some guys in the knife community started to lose their shit over those top bars, the custom ones. They were paying big money. Listen, I understand that some of them were going for over $1,000, which is custom knife territory. But that's the way of the consumer, and consumerism, if you have the money and the will, you're going to buy it. Listen, if I had the money, I probably would have bought one, but I didn't, and I didn't want to spend that type of money. So people were losing their shit over those top bars. Then he brought out the production version out of steel, brass, copper, and titanium, and I believe those ones went for something like $250 retail. But again, on the secondary market, people within the knife community were losing their shit, and people were paying double, $500, $600 for one of these top bars. Now, what happened was that because then that design idea was out the bag, other makers from around the world started designing their own spinners. Now, I do believe that he, i.e. the designer of the top bar, tried to stop people from taking his design or his design idea and making their own. But obviously it didn't work because, you know, as a consumer now we have choice because we can buy lots of different designs from around the world. And that's great. That's awesome because, you know, you can now buy a $20 3D printed plastic spinner, or you can choose to support an independent maker from somewhere in the world who has designed their own spinner. Okay. Now, unfortunately, what then happens is that you see these makers pop up, produce a really cool design, and then within a couple of months, it's over in China and on AliExpress and DHgate. Listen, go over there, check out the website, type in hand spinner, and you can see all these amazing designs that pop up, and they're all fucking clones of somebody else's design. I ain't judging. If that's what you want to do, and you want to buy something at a fraction of the price of what the original is, and you're happy with having a fake, that's what it's there for. Again, that's consumerism. They, as the Chinese, wouldn't produce those things if they couldn't sell them, so, you know, they must be doing something right. But for me, I was looking to jump into the market, but I didn't want to particularly spend $250. I was looking to spend a little bit less. Excuse me, I'm all bunged up. And I came across this maker out of Russia, and he makes out-the-front automatic knives, titanium pens, all that kind of good stuff, and he has designed his own spinner. His link will be in the description below. And this is his custom case. He calls it the skull spinner. Beautiful stitching, embossed skull on the leather with the red inlay underneath to give it a cool effect. Nice clasp top, pop it open, and what pops out is a fully titanium CNC machined spinner. And I really enjoy it, really like this thing. Give you a quick look at it. Cool skulls, love the teeth, each one a little bit different. Cool eyes, cool nose. Obviously it's 3D. The caps are really nice. Lovely machining. They fit finger perfectly. Well balanced. Smooth operation. This was the first one out of the factory. I say factory, out of his workshop. And he engraved it #1 for me. But as a good businessman, since then, it's been a while, he has expanded his range. You can now get the spinner, the standard spinner, which is this one, with skulls on both sides or skulls on one side. You can get a custom version for around $250 plus, something like that. And that will be custom anodized, how you want it. And also the skulls will be carved, so they'll have more depth to the look of them. You can also get some of the skulls that glow in the dark, the eyes and nose glow in the dark. Caps, different size caps, some of them glow in the dark. Other ones are laser engraved with a Celtic band. I've seen one with a Death Star engraved in the middle. And the sheaths, the new ones are suede with glow in the dark eyes if you want. Different colours, green, yellow, blue, multicoloured stitching. So there's a great amount of choice that he's offering. Like I say, that's what you're doing. You know, you develop a brand, you develop something, and then you expand the range, and that's what he's done. What I really like about this spinner is that it's small. It's a lot smaller than a lot of other spinners, and thin as well. Lightweight because it's titanium. Now, some people argue that steel, brass, copper is better than titanium because you get longer spin times. But listen, that defeats the object of a fidget toy. People who are obsessed with their spinning times, you need to just go ahead and buy yourself a spinning top and just spin it and let it go for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, whatever you want to go. Because these things are not meant to be spun and just held for 3 or 4 minutes. Yes, these things will spin for a considerable amount of time. But at the end of the day, that's not what they are designed for. They are fidget toys. I couldn't imagine spinning this thing and just stood there now and just watching it spin for three minutes or 3.5 minutes and obsess over the time and saying, oh, well, I wouldn't buy this because it only spins for 2 minutes. I want something that spins for 3 minutes. And like I say, there's an argument over the weight of a metal with its spin time. So whether it's steel or brass or copper, people argue is better than the titanium. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. And it shouldn't matter to you because it is a fidget toy. You spin it, you enjoy spinning it, and you stop it, and then you spin it the other way, and you spin it back. And people, you can't do tricks with this one, but with some of the larger ones, you can do tricks with it. And, you know, I mean, with this one, you can balance it on different fingers and, you know, all that good stuff. And what I like about this one is that the caps are larger than the body of the spinner. So it means that you can place it down on the table and spin it that way as well. So it's a lot of fun in however you want to use it. Now, I've heard some people say that it's a fad, you know, these things are not going to last, whatever. I don't get people like that. You know, why criticise? If you don't like the concept, you don't like the idea, jog on. Go and be interested in something else. Why criticise people or a product? For what? What difference does it make? How do you know how long it's going to last or how long the desire for these things is going to last? And does it really matter? It's a cool concept, something that's never been done before, and people are enjoying it. And why not? You know, at the end of the day, these things are fun to play with, and whether it's something you're going to pick up and mess around with for a few minutes and then put it back away, or you're a real fidgeter and you fidget with it all day. What if you're somebody who works on a call centre and you're bored as fuck and you click your pen all day long as you're answering phone calls or whatever? You know, instead you spin this all day. It's a stress reliever. Yes, people talk about ADHD and it can help with medical conditions, and of course it can. Of course. I'm not a massive fidget guy, even though I do like to flip my knife, but that's more because I'm just a knife addict. But at the end of the day, I can appreciate somebody who is a real fidgeter really enjoying one of these and getting a lot out of it. Letting them de-stress, you know, whatever. There's lots of different reasons for owning one of these. Ultimately, for me, I will play with it for a few minutes and then get bored and put it away. At the same time, I can play with it for a lot longer. For example, if I I'm sitting around watching a movie with the family. If I bring my knife into the front room and try to start flipping my knife, people are going to go ballistic. My wife is going to kick me out. She's not going to appreciate it. And why would they? That is annoying as shit to an unknife guy. You know, I mean, nobody's going to appreciate that, that sound. So this makes a lot more sense. So I can sit, fidget with this while I'm watching a movie, and nobody's going to be the wiser or give a shit. Even though, as you can hear, it makes a slight sound. It's not annoying. Okay. Also, I've been going to the doctors a lot recently because I'm gearing up for some spinal surgery, and there's no way I'm going to take this to the doctor's surgery and start flipping this about in the doctor's surgery. Of course not, especially in England. You know, I mean, you know, you're not allowed to leave the house with a locking knife, so that's out of the question. Also, I'm not going to fidget with something else, if you know what I'm saying. Either one, I'm going to get fucking arrested at. So ultimately, I've been to the doctors and I can pull this out and I can mess around with it, and nobody's going to give a shit. Nobody is going to look at me any different. All they're going to do is maybe be a bit intrigued about what the hell I'm doing. So they're very cool, and no point to criticise them. Who gives a shit how long they're going to be about? They are really cool. They are awesome to play with. Some people are really enjoying collecting these things. I mean, I've seen some collectors who have got a whole host of collectibles of different designs from different makers from around the world. And hey, that's the whole point of it, isn't it? If you enjoy it, you go for it. I think this is reasonably priced at $125 for what it is. You know, something made from an independent small maker, beautifully done, beautifully tested, all the testing that's gone into it. You know, really nice size as well. Because it's a smaller spinner, I really appreciate that, because I've got large hands, but whether you've got large hands, medium, small hands, this thing you're going to manipulate easily. You're going to be able to play with it. You know, some of these spinners are rather chunky, some of them are rather large, and when you spin them, depending on your hand size, they might clip you on the inside of your fingers there. You know, so you know you might not have large enough fingers to spin them properly. This one works beautifully. It really does. It's really easy to play with, whether it's, you know, with two hands or whether it's with one hand. Different fingers. You can put it in different fingers like that. Go different ways. Yeah. A lot of fun to play with. I wish I'd have got one with skulls on both sides, but hey, you know what I mean? It was one of the first ones. Obviously, I got number one. And, you know, yeah, I truly appreciate that. As a quick overview of another one, I did get this one a few days ago. This one is slightly thicker and heavier than that one, and it's, as you can see, very colourful. Very cool. Really like these things. As you can see on the back, it's got a cool texture to it. Some amazing colours on this thing. And what you can do is you can place them together like this, and look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? There we go. So, you know, at the end of the day, they're just a bit of a laugh. You know, you don't need to think too hard about these things. If you like them, if it's something that you think is cool, then get yourself one. You know, you have, as a consumer, lots of different prices to jump into the market. It's your choice. If it's not something that appeals to you, then, you know, move on to something else, but don't criticise us guys who enjoy them. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we enjoy them for what they are, and we ain't going to criticise you for your, you know, the things that you enjoy. So, if you enjoy them, then go ahead and get yourself one. If you fancy a skull spinner, contact the guy in the link below through his Instagram or his Facebook page, and I'm sure he'll look after you. And until the next video, guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and I will check you later.